Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Today we're going to be talking about rankers, the gods amongst gods, those who achieved the mightiest achievements. Yeah. So let's talk a bit about how a rank is made, should I say. So as you know, head on, the administrator on the floor of the test, first floor of the test, goes and picks individuals from the outer tower to take the first test, and he picks, and they're called regulars, and they have to go up each and every floor taking tests, as you know, and gradually they have to do 134 because currently that's where it's capped, so they can't go any higher because Jihad locked the door to enter the next level. We'll go into that a little bit later, but yeah, so that's what regulars do, and once regulars have achieved that, they become rankers. Now a rankers level can differentiate completely depending on how much experience they've gained whilst they climb the tower. It would also depend on how much they've depended on their fellow teammates, because as you know, most regulars band together, usually after the first test, so Evankel's floor, hell floor of hell, whatever. And obviously it also depends on their position, so light bearers tend to be on the weaker side because they're information bringers. They tend to be strategists, like Kuhn, although Kuhn is actually a spearman? Oh, I'm getting such a weird blank, but yeah, he's also a spearman as well as a light bearer. But because of his daddy issues, there's a lot of daddy issues in Tower of God, so if you don't know, if you've never seen it, get prepared. A lot of daddy issues. Not so many mummy issues, but there are a few family leaders, the 12 great family leaders, who are run by women, a couple of them. But yeah, mostly it's daddy issues. I've said daddy issues a lot, so I'm going to stop. Right, back to it. So rankers. There are approximately, from the research I've done, there are approximately 100,000 rankers. Now 10% of those are advanced rankers. So that leaves 90,000 to be regular rankers. But there's another 1,000 of those 10,000 advanced rankers who become the highest level, so we're talking high rankers. In season 2 and especially season 3, we've come across a lot of high rankers, mostly from Jihad. As I was saying, rankers have extremely luxurious lifestyles, so if you didn't know that, regulars are piss poor. If you've seen the anime, a lot of them were like getting buggered about the price of food, especially in Dorsey. She was trying to starve herself because she couldn't afford the curry. Was it curry? How do you I assume high rankers are even more rich, to the level where they can buy maybe... It's true though, compared to regulars, rankers have extraordinarily luxurious lifestyles compared to their regular counterparts. I'm pretty sure they could order 5-star meal buffets every day if they wanted to. Spa treatments, manicures, pedicures, the whole thing. If they wanted to, they could probably buy a floor. They'd have to beat the current ruler of the floor, you know, like how Evankel is. Oh, by the way, only high rankers can rule their own floors. So they have to defeat the previous ruler and then they can take over the floor. But that would make sense because, let's be honest, those administrators are crazy strong. They can be defeated though, but I assume they're at least at the level of probably a mid-level high ranker, because you wouldn't find a low-level high ranker the ruler of a floor, because there are so many other high rankers above them who are more powerful and who could defeat them. So yeah, I assume that could be the case. They're only going to be the creme de la creme, cream of the crop, the top 300. For those who don't know, the Infernal Evankel stated that if you're in the top 300, you have to be completely different from those below you. Not only strength wise, but I assume your mental capabilities, your strategic capabilities. Like I was saying earlier, to be accepted by Jihad's army, your physical prowess must be off the charts, or at least better than the ones that they can scout. But I assume your strategic and all the defensive capabilities have to be good, including connections. So, yeah, and that's what the ranking bureau take into account, not just your strength capabilities, but also your mental and all those other capabilities I've been talking about. And it really showed when she was defeating that monkey poo in season 3. She was just like, I'm just gonna burn everything. So she gets her quad orb, if I remember correctly. They'll be up there. Quad orb hellfire thing. And I think the elephant god was a nice touch. But I don't get it. I mean, where does the elephant come from? Because if you think about it, elephant god is Ganesh. If you don't know about Hindu religion, it's the Hindu religion. Ganesh was the son of Shiva. I'm not quite sure what his powers were. I'm not really sure what his powers were. But Shiva was the god of death and resurrection. Ganesh, I'm not entirely sure what his role was as a Hindu god, but I definitely don't think it was fire. At the very least, anyway. So yeah, I mean, I could have thought of Phoenix would have probably been a better one, personally. Some of you might agree, but I feel like a Phoenix would have been better, for sure. But yeah, that was an amazing scene, by the way. Just, completely obliterating all those various rankers and high rankers. Oh, we saw another advanced ranker there. We don't see many of those, but we did see advanced ranker, low Pobia, Didiano. I remember that guy's name because I've seen that chapter quite a few times. He was so cocky at the beginning. he was like, oh, Evankel, you've fallen a few places from where you were. You used to be level 60, now you're level God knows what. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna burn the shit out of you. I'm gonna turn this monkey shit and throw it back into your face, but in a fireball, so it burns your face as well as sticking on it. Anyway, we were talking about not only having powerful strength, but also having other attributes. I think the best person I can, off the top of my head, I can explain as having those attributes is probably Evan Edrock. If you don't know, all Jard princesses are assigned silver dwarfs. So Evan Edrock is of the silver dwarf race, and they, similarly to the Red Witches, have complete knowledge, more or less a complete knowledge of the tower, the inner workings of the tower, and they're able to guide their princess, so in this case Yuri, throughout the tower. So as we saw at the very beginning, the first chapter of season 1, he was leading her down the steps to the floor of the test, the first floor. I don't know why I keep calling it the floor of the test. Is there 1 or 2 tests? No, that's right. It's the floor of the test, right? Because the second one is Evankel's test, Evankel's floor, which is also a testing floor. Yeah. So we have that issue. Yeah. So his issue is that he's defensively, his capabilities are extremely strong. However, his attack power is very low. It's probably to the level of not even a ranker. So we're talking an upper end regular. That's how his offense power is so weak. But yeah, I assume he's been given a high rank by the ranking bureau because of the fact that he's a silver dwarf and he can guide his princess throughout the tower, and his defensive capabilities. So his tools are obviously far exceed those of even high rankers, because high rankers generally just use their Shinsu capabilities, their offense, and for those who have defense, use their Shinsu as defense, like a shield or something. Like, let's say Hanson Yu. I know he's not. I know he didn't accept the position of a high ranker, but he is essentially a high ranker, even though he's still just an advanced ranker technically. But I assume he uses like a water shield, summons up this huge water shield or something to deflect oncoming Shinsu from enemies. So yeah, can become rulers. So only high rankers. High rankers are the only ones who can become rulers of a floor. Oh no, I already said that, didn't I? Shit. So in general, that's what a ranker is. I think I will talk a little bit about rankers in terms of low level rankers and high rankers, because although a ranker is seen as like a god, a high ranker in terms of offense and his or her offensive capabilities is just off the charts. It's ridiculous. I mean, I think someone from FUG said that in a war between high rankers and just regular rankers, they would stand no chance. Even though they're rankers. Rankers are not weak, but compared to high rankers, they're considered weak. Right, so there's the term blue hole. So for those who don't know, if you're brand new to Tower of God, a blue hole is simply an ancient beast. So someone who's so old that they're so powerful, and for a time during, let's say they weren't sealed like Cha and Derwan were. So a perfect example is Calhelm, the FUG elder, the first one we were introduced to. He's considered a blue hole because he hasn't actually shown up for a fight in ages. He's been a coward, like Baylord Yama said. So yeah, the coward Calhelm, he's a blue hole because he hasn't fought in God knows how many years. He made his grand debut when he decided to go attack the canine people. An elder attacking another subgroup of FUG. But obviously, as the story is explained and everything, we kind of got to know what happened. And yeah, I just feel I feel sorry for him. But we'll talk about that another time. Blue hole. That's probably the last sort of group of rankers that I can talk about.